Have you ever wondered why God said, "Remember the Sabbath day"? It's a fascinating question because it's the only one of the 10 commandments that starts with the word remember. Could it be that the very command we were explicitly told to remember is the one that most of the world has forgotten? Let's go back to the very beginning. Before sin entered the world, before there was a nation of Israel, even before what we call religion existed, there was the Sabbath. In Genesis chapter 2, we read that God finished his work of creation, and then he rested, blessed, and sanctified the seventh day. This makes the Sabbath universal, not just Jewish. It's a principle God wrote directly into the rhythm of time itself, a foundational part of his creation. Fast forward to Mount Sinai. In Exodus chapter 20, when God gives the 10 commandments, he doesn't introduce a new concept. He says, "Remember the Sabbath day." Why? Because humanity will forget. The Sabbath was designed as a weekly memorial, a sacred pause that connects heaven and earth. It's a reminder of our Creator's love, a declaration of equality where everyone rests, and a gift of peace for all. It's the only commandment that starts with remember, and perhaps it's because God, in his wisdom, knew it would be forgotten. The Sabbath is more than just a day off. It's a sign of a deep personal relationship with God. In Ezekiel chapter 20, God calls the Sabbath a sign between him and his people. He says it so that they might know that I am the Lord who sanctifies them. It's not just about ceasing from labor. It's about a sacred appointment with the one who makes us holy. It's about relationship. Isaiah chapter 58 even describes it as a delight. It says, if you call the Sabbath a delight and honor the Lord's holy day, then you shall delight yourself in the Lord. The Sabbath was never meant to be a heavy burden. It's a divine blessing, a gift from our Creator designed to refresh our bodies, minds, and souls. Now, what about Jesus? Did he change it? Not at all. In fact, he reinforced its true meaning. Luke chapter 4 tells us that it was his custom to go to the synagogue on the Sabbath day. He lived it. More than that, he taught its true purpose. In Mark chapter 2, Jesus famously said, "The Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath. Therefore the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath." He wasn't abolishing it. He was restoring it from the burden of human traditions. He showed that the Sabbath is a perfect time for acts of mercy, for healing, and for connecting with God. And what about after the resurrection? Did the apostles switch to Sunday? The book of Acts tells a different story. We see Paul, the apostle to the Gentiles, consistently preaching in the synagogues on the Sabbath. Acts chapters 13, 16, 17, and 18 all show him reasoning with both Jews and Gentiles on the seventh day. It was the established practice of the early believers. So if Jesus didn't change it and the apostles didn't change it, where did Sunday observance come from? Some point to 1 Corinthians 16, where Paul tells believers to set aside an offering on the first day of the week. But this wasn't a command for a worship service. He was simply giving practical advice. Set aside money at home so that when he arrived, there wouldn't be a need for a last-minute collection. In fact, this aligns perfectly with the Sabbath principle found in Nehemiah 13, which forbade business and transactions on the Sabbath. Preparing the offering on the first day of the week was just a practical way to honor the sacredness of the seventh. The Bible itself speaks of the Sabbath's endurance. Hebrews chapter 4 says, "There remains therefore a Sabbath rest for the people of God." The original Greek word used here is sabbatismos, which literally means a Sabbath keeping. This powerful verse shows that even under the new covenant, the practice of keeping the Sabbath remains a beautiful symbol of our faith and rest in God. So, if the change didn't come from the Bible, where did it come from? We have to look at history. In the year 321 AD, the Roman Emperor Constantine issued a famous decree. He commanded, "On the venerable day of the sun, let the magistrates and people residing in cities rest." Constantine was trying to unite a vast empire of both pagans and Christians. His decree wasn't honoring the God of the Bible. It was a political compromise, blending pagan sun worship with Christianity by making Sunday the official day of rest. Shortly after, this political move was cemented by religious authority. The Council of Laodicea in the 4th century went a step further, forbidding Christians from resting on the seventh-day Sabbath and commanding them to honor Sunday instead. This is how the tradition is shifted, not by a divine command from God, but by the authority of man. Catholic leaders have been open about this. For instance, the Catholic record stated in 1923, "Sunday is our mark of authority." The Church is above the Bible, and this transference of Sabbath observance is proof of that fact. The change came from church tradition, not from Scripture. But what about that verse in Colossians? Chapter 2, verse 16 says, "Let no man therefore judge you in meat, or in drink, or in respect of a holy day, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath days, which are a shadow of things to come." Many read this and assume Paul is dismissing the weekly Sabbath. But a careful look at the language is crucial. The phrase, holy days, new moons, and Sabbath days, is a specific term used throughout the Old Testament to refer to the yearly ceremonial feasts of the Mosaic law like Passover and the Day of Atonement. Leviticus 23 lists these festivals and even calls them Sabbaths, though they could fall on any day of the week. These ceremonial Sabbaths were shadows, pointed forward to the sacrifice and ministry of Christ. Once Christ had come, the shadows were no longer needed. The weekly Sabbath, however, is different. It wasn't a shadow pointing forward. It was established at creation, before sin, as a memorial pointing backward to God's finished work. It commemorates our Creator. Therefore, it couldn't be a shadow of things to come. Paul was telling the Colossian believers not to be judged for forsaking the Jewish ceremonial laws, not the eternal moral law which includes the weekly Sabbath. Think about it this way. Jesus said in Matthew 5, "Think not that I am come to destroy the law." Yet many Christians believe we can discard the 4th commandment while holding on to the other 9. Where is the logic in that? Do we believe it's okay to steal, or murder, or dishonor our parents? Of course not. So why treat the command to remember the Sabbath any differently? It's part of the same eternal law of love, written by the finger of God. Ultimately, the Sabbath is not about legalism. It's about love. It's about relationship. It's God's weekly invitation to step away from the noise and chaos of the world, to rest in His presence, and to reconnect with Him. Jesus said in John 14, "If you love me, keep my commandments." Honoring God's holy seventh-day Sabbath isn't a burden. It's a beautiful expression of our love for the one who created us, redeemed us, and gives us rest. It's His day, a gift waiting for you.